Hey, it's Paolo. So, one of my new favorite shows on TLC is Long Lost Family. Now, I've seen the first 3 episodes, and let me tell you, they are so powerful. And it's about birth families who have been searching for each other for years, hoping to be reunited. The 2 hosts of the show, Chris Jacobs and Lisa Joyner, are going to be here in the studio so we get the scoop on the new series. Can't wait. See you there.
His life was changed and made new when an angel made his dream come true, and now he brings his dream to you. In a
Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like, we're so excited to have you both here, Lisa and Chris. Really, I was just telling Lisa earlier, because you were late.
I was.
No,
Traffic.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. We saw the first 3 episodes of Long Lost Family, and I mean, I just couldn't stop crying. Like episode 3, we were down the street at a coffee shop.
Lisa laughs.
Yeah.
No, but I imagined
She's
him.
pitching, and people were looking at us. You know, we're sitting outside having our coffee. And it was just so powerful and just beautiful. Just for those who are tuning in now, Chris, what is Long Lost Family? What's it about, the show?
Well, basically, we reunite people who were adopted with their birth families. I located your son.
Oh my gosh!
She wrote you a letter.
I've never forgotten you. You come from so much wonderful love, my son.
Please don't think that I didn't want to keep you.
She loved you.
Which means, you weren't someone's dirty secret.
Do you want to see a picture of him?
Yes. He has my hands.
Oh my God. I know her.
You know what I love about this series is that you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if the biological parents, if they're alive or dead, and then you're just waiting for that reunion if it's going to happen at the end. You're just waiting. And in one episode, Lisa, you said the worst case scenario is not knowing. Would you say that is the most important thing for these people, is to get answers no matter what those answers are?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, I had to tell someone that the person that they'd been searching for most of their life had died.
Oh.
I mean, that's awful. However, after that, he said to me, you know what? I just wanted to know. I needed to know. I needed that closure. Your mind and the expectation and the ideas and your imagination is so strong. And when you go through a whole life not knowing, even if it's not the answer that you want, it's most of the time worth getting, don't you think?
Absolutely, because that not knowing is such a it's a burr under the saddle. You just having any sort of information really, like she said, brings you closure. I mean, at least then at least then you can match up a reality with a fantasy that you've always had in your head growing up.
Yeah, all the things you were wondering, they're going to be answered.
Right.
And you know what I found fascinating is in the first 3 episodes especially, is that the adoptees, they all felt like rejected or not wanted, but when you see the stories, it's not that the case at all. Like, they were never rejected or not wanted. It's just they have their stories of whether it was their parents, or they didn't want to tell anyone, or they couldn't have this kid. It really was emotional. Like, how did you 2 handle this?
Okay, first of all, let me just say, I didn't. I did not handle it. I sobbed every time. I had to redo makeup. I had to re-ask questions because I was so emotionally invested. This guy, I don't know. Did you get upset?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
You seemed so composed.
I was fighting it so hard
Really?
not to kind of
Yeah,
lose
I think it was episode 2. I saw you your eyes were getting watery.
Yeah.
I think you were doing research or something, but yeah, I don't know how you guys
the amazing
did it.
part about this show is that, Lisa and I, we've done television for a long time, and this is a job for us, but then when you consider who's on the other side of the table, you go, this is absolutely real for them.
Yeah.
This is happening
This is
for
life.
them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so you get caught up in their emotion, and hopefully that's going to translate to the viewer as well. But,
Oh,
I mean,
it will.
It's I'm getting a little emotional now just thinking about doing that.
You know
stuff.
what it is? It's so raw. You see both families, both sides. It's raw. It's deep. Did you guys go through that? Because you're both adopted. Did you go through that in your journey of trying to find your biological family, like wondering and being scared and all those unanswered questions?
Not at all. I could care less.
Okay.
No,
Just say it like that, Lisa.
I'm kidding. No, I think both of us did. I mean, the difference between our own personal journeys and the show is that you're not only relating to these people as a person who's gone through the journey ourselves,
Right.
but you're remembering everything that you went through, whatever what has transpired before. So there's an empathy for these people, and there's a realness. And the thing that I like about the show so much is there's no retakes. What you see is what happened. When you see that look, that weight lift off their shoulders and their face light up, that's real. Chris and I both went through that because we both, at different times in our life, decided to search. And I
What age
remember
did you start searching?
start initially, I would say in my 20s, but
Okay.
I did not search in earnest until probably about 35, after both my parents had passed away.
Oh, okay.
And when I did it, I was, I'm a producer and I'm fine. And when it came down to the moment that I was getting ready to meet him, I just had a breakdown. I don't know about you, what your situation was.
Well, it was a little different for me because I started searching when I was 23, and it was completely serendipitous. I mean, my search really didn't last that long. I mean, it literally lasted less than a week because it turned out that the adoption location service that I used, my mom had registered with them 3 years earlier.
Oh, so that helped out.
So they just put us immediately together. So it was just kind of meant to be. So I didn't have any sort of difficult process whatsoever. And I mean, this is back in 1993, it was before the internet or anything like that. So I didn't have those resources to draw upon, which is why I went to a help service, and it just, the stars aligned, and it just turned out that she had registered with the same exact service. And there are hundreds of these services.
Yeah.
So,
But every once in a while, you realize how delicate it is. For example, when I was looking for my biological family, and I tried for years and years, and then when I finally found them, it was a letter that was transfixed in the name. Instead of an A here, it was here. It was Aria, was my biological father's last name, and they had EA instead of AE.
Wow.
I mean, it's that simple.
Oh my God. How does that change your life that you got these answers that you both were searching for? What does that do for you? I'm wondering, because I'm not adopted, but I'm curious. What does that do for you that you have the answers that you were searching for?
It does give you some closure. Chris and I have talked about it before. There's something that, in the adoption community, they talk about a primal wound, no matter how young you are. But if you're taken from your biological mother and given to a loving home right away, there's still something that's just not full. I don't know if I got filled up when I met them, but having the answers to those questions, I was on television and I was all over the country, and people said, "What are you? Where are you from? What's your nationality?" And I'm like, "What do you think?" When I was in Texas, I was Mexican. When I was in Virginia, I was half black. When I always got that because I had an exotic look. I finally was able to fill in those empty, those missing puzzle pieces. So that serviced that a lot.
Yeah.
Aside from that, knowing the circumstances surrounding my adoption, I wasn't mad. And you know what I wanted to say, as most adoptees, or a lot of them do, I'm okay. I'm okay. You did the right thing. So that's, for me.
In these situations, the common thread is the adopted child feels like they were rejected, and the parent worries that the child somehow resents them. And it always turns out to be that the child says, "I'm okay," and the parent said, "You weren't rejected. I had to do this because of these circumstances." So.
You know what's so crazy? Because on the show, you see both parties searching for more than 20 years. And this is TV, so you need a beginning, middle, and end. It has to happen in 1 hour. So what tools did you guys use to speed up the process while they were searching for decades? How did it make it a little bit easier for both of you to find them? What did you use?
Sometimes when you have a piece of paper in front of you and you've stared at it for all your life, you see the same things. And occasionally, if you get an extra pair of eyes on it,
fresh perspective.
then you're able to find, and like I said, it's in the details. The search is in the details. And we have more people that can help. There's staffs of people that can help in a television show. And the age that we live in now, there's a lot more resources. It's hard to to have all the privacy that many of us would like with the internet. So you employ a team of people. We ask a lot of questions and look at it with fresh eyes.
Wow, yeah. When at the end of episode 2, I looked at Patrick and I said, I just think the laws have to change because it seems so complicated. Because you really have both parties who do want to find one another, but there's this wall. There's this wall between them that they just can't get past. So we know that this wall is not going to work. So it's like, why can't we just change the laws to make it easier? Because in most cases, they do want to find one another. I mean, I haven't heard someone, I don't want to see who my kid was that I gave away for adoption. It's just, it's mind blowing.
Can you imagine if the secrecy and the shame was taken out of adoption?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how adoptees, how biological parents would feel? I'm tired of hearing somebody say, "How could you give up a child for adoption?" When you should be grateful to that person
Yes.
that this child was conceived, given a life
Yes.
out of multiple decisions of love.
Yes.
And that's what it is.
In episode 3, the daughter knew that. She said, you gave me the best gift by giving me away because the life that she has now today. And I'm like, oh my God, she's right. Like the whole time the mother felt this guilt and pain, but she didn't know that her daughter is okay, that she has her family and that she's living a good life. Oh my God. Now that you guys have taped I think 8 episodes, right? There's 8 episodes.
9 including the pilot, yeah.
9, okay. What do you take away from this whole experience, would you say? What do you take away from this?
I believe that, television can do good. I never believed that before. I've done some really bad things. No, this is a profound experience to host, and it's a profound experience for a viewer. And I think that people have reached out since this, and since we've done the episodes and said, and they haven't even aired. Oh my gosh, it's going to air! You've changed my life. When we're walking up to the door and they're getting ready to do the reunion, I say to them, and sometimes on camera and sometimes off, your life is about to change. And it really is. It will never be the same. It'll always be before you found out and after you found out. So I'm just so blessed and feel so grateful that somebody believed in this show and put it on the air. And that's just what I've taken away.
It's amazing when producers and networks are coming up with new ideas for television shows. There always has to be some sort of gimmick or hook or some sort of difference. It's like, we're going to have a competition show, but they're all blindfolded, or it's all underwater.
They're albinos.
Yeah, they have to have their leg tied behind their back. This show is just absolutely as pure as it can get. It's about real emotions with absolutely no hook and
Good
happy endings
storytelling.
and fantastic stories. Yeah, and that's what I'm most proud of, is that we're not doing anything sensationalistic with this show. It's just, like Lisa said, what you see is what you get. There was no retakes, there was no setups, there's no side eye to the camera. It's just we're just completely invested in this and just a conduit for the audience, really.
Yep.
And I think it really does resonate.
It really
with me.
did. It's like you said earlier, when you're waiting for them, they're about to go see their parents, whoever it is, or their aunt or sister, and you see that switch in them. They're outside of that door, and then they walk in, and it's just you're watching like this close to the TV, like, oh my gosh, you both did such a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
You guided them, and what great television to be a part of. It really is. So
that was the only kind of drawback, is that Lisa and I hosted separate storylines, so we never got a chance to.
This is like the third time I've seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
That was the only kind of bummer about it. Yeah,
that's a good thing. There's 2, from what I've seen, there's 2 stories in each episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so great. I mean, Sunday nights on TLC, Long Lost Family. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, it is just so beautiful, powerful, and full of love.
Thank you, Paolo.
No, thank you
Appreciate
both for
it.
being here. I really appreciate it, okay?
Our pleasure.
This Sunday! Yay! I'm so excited. Thanks, everyone, and thank you both. Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Chris, okay?
You're
All right,
welcome.
we'll see you guys next time in A Spoonful of Paolo. Bye! Dream big.
Spoonful of Paolo.
I love you, Oprah. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.